Welcome back, guys, to a new video in the Asher Clan. This is the first video that I am going to be recording. I am Whirly Cobra. Hope you guys all enjoy. And yeah, there's going to be a link to the chat of my on my channel down in the description. So go check that out if you want to. Also, this is going to be the first part of what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Kurama. Hope all of you enjoy. So let's go to the Naruto's attack. The Naruto's attack happens 5 years earlier. Yep. So Kushina is going through labor, and the masked man goes to attack Kushina and Minato, and the baby that is born is actually Kushina's first child. Obito does end up. Wait, let me go back. Obito does end up kidnapping this child, like he kidnapped Naruto and Canon, and Minato does go over to protect the child. Minato is a couple seconds too late and sees his firstborn child get stabbed by a kunai that Obito had. And then Obito and uh, Minato starts fighting. Minato being blood hungry and enraged because he saw his first child die by the hand of the masked man. He is not really focusing on anything but killing the masked man. And in his rage, he doesn't realize that Obito created, or the masked man created, a shadow clone. Sorry, I had to pause the recording. The shadow clone that Obito created goes out to go to Kushina and take the Nine Tails away, take the Nine Tails out of her. And Minato is fighting Obito, and then Minato hears a large roar from coming from where Kushina was, and at that moment he sort of breaks out of his enraged state and flying Raijins towards Obito. Goes the Kuna goes through Obito, but then he does a Rasengan, uh, doing the same attack that he did to Obito in the cannon, and then he flying Raijins over towards Kushina. Obito escapes during that time. The Shadow Clone dispersed that Obito made. So yes, but in this time, Minato is not the first one there. Actually, the first one there is actually the third Hokage. Yes, I forgot his name for a second. Hiruzen. Sorry, Hiruzen is the first one there. Hiruzen starts doing hand signs, and Minato doesn't recognize these hand signs. He knows this is not the Reaper Deathshield hand signs. It is actually a hand sign. It's actually a jutsu that Hiruzen created, right? It's a sort of sealing jutsu, but not really. It's like more of an evolved version of the uh, Reaper Death Seal Jutsu. It still evolves the Reaper, but in a different way. The way that it works is that the Reaper makes it so that the Nine Tails gets reincarnated a certain amount of time in the future. Hiruzen not having enough chakra, he can only make that the Nine Tails gets reincarnated 10 years later. And the side effect of the jutsu, like the normal Reaper Death Seal jutsu, is that the user dies, like in a canon. But also that the being that was reincarnated gets reincarnated as a human. Yes, but they don't get any of their memories. They lose all their memories of their past life, then we have to regain it. So sort of like the Injura and Ashura reincarnation, but just a little bit, yeah, just exactly like that. But it was meant for Otsutsuki's and humans because Injura and Ashura are Otsutsuki, but he did it for Tail Beast, making Kurama be reincarnated as a human. So yeah. So time skip 10 years. Kushina and uh, Minato being the fourth Hokage, mourns for his child and Hiruzen's death, and also start rebuilding the Konoha from all the destruction that the Tail Beast created. Right, And Konoha has to pretend that they still have their tail beast, but are still one of the strongest nations because Minato is the Hokage and he's alive. But no one knows that the Nine Tails is still alive, is reincarnated, or is dead. The villagers do believe that the Nine Tails was killed by Hiruzen. So yeah, and Kushina and Minato, over after 9 years of their child dying, they decided to give chance to have another kid. Yep, they're having another child, and this child is born 9 months later during the 10-year anniversary of the Nine Tails death, supposed death. Actually, 1 month after it. At the same time, flashback 1 month later, somewhere in the Fire Nation, no place sorry, cannot say the word, but no place in general, just in a small village. This woman with blonde hair and uh, this woman with blonde hair and not blue eyes. I wouldn't say blue eyes, but this woman with blonde hair and black eyes is born. The eyes color doesn't really matter. No, why not blue? Blonde hair with blue eyes, right? Her hair is equal basically to, imagine the Yamanaka's hair, like a dirty blonde type color, not like Minato's, but like the dirty blonde type color, right? Light blonde, right? Like Ino and Ino's father. But she is in labor, and she can sense her child's chakra while she's in labor. She's not a very powerful ninja. She isn't really a ninja. She just has enough chakra control and knowledge about chakra to be equal basically to tuning, a low tuning, high getting. So yeah, so she can sense that her child has a lot of chakra just from being born, and the husband is not in the her husband is her boyfriend is not in the question. And so during labor she actually gets extremely weakened, uh, and she can sense that she doesn't have a lot of time left in life, but for some reason the child, aka Naruto, she's gonna end up naming him Naruto, is she can sense that she's being healed but also being killed at the same time. The reason why she's being killed is because she was gonna die from labor, right? But she is being healed by Naruto's chakra influencing her body a little bit, aka Kurama's chakra, because Naruto is the reincarnation of Kurama. When he is born, she sees his blue eyes and she can see that he has slits in them. Imagine when Naruto's in his Kurama, when he's in the chakra cloak, or the one tail chakra cloak, and his eyes are slit, but instead of being red, it's blue. So yeah, it's blue instead of red. The woman decides to name him Naruto, and with the little uh, time left of life that she has, she starts traveling to Konoha, right? Because she knows that that's a ninja village, and she can sense that her child has a lot of chakra, even though just being an infant. So when she gets to the village gates of Konoha, she falls down with Naruto in her hands and dies there and then. So the village gatekeep guarders see this, dash towards her, and take her to the hospital. And also notice the child told the Hokage, aka Minato, about this. And Minato goes to a hospital to see what happened, because there's some outsiders that just entered the village, and she told them that one of them was a baby boy. And when he gets to the hospital, he hears from some of the nurses the woman that had the child ended up dying, and that one of the nurses is taking care of the baby boy that was not fed. He had what's it called? nutrition failure. He didn't have a lot of nutrition in his body because he couldn't. Let's just say that the Naruto's mother was extremely poor and extremely sick from from giving birth to Naruto, and she was already very poor, so she couldn't really afford the most food for Naruto and her. So there was some days that Naruto didn't really eat, but he survived because of his chakra, aka Kurama's chakra, the Naruto's chakra, because he is the reincarnation of Kurama, making his body survive, right? So that's what happened there. Minato sees that the child is very skinny for his age, right? It looks like he didn't really eat a lot, and right now he's only a week old, right? And he's not the cleanest child. So Minato decides to actually take care of the child, and so they can find an adoption parents for him. And as soon as he picks up the child, he feels a something like familiar, a chakra signature familiar to him. He doesn't put his eye. He doesn't have his the exact whose chakra it is, but it's on the tip of his tongue, and he can sense that this child has a lot of chakra, more than a normal Uzumaki. Able to rile in his chakra pool is large enough to rival a tail beast at such a young age. It's roughly right now equal to the one tail's chakra, the of Shikaku's chakra pool. And right now he's just a little kid, right? Minato does also look into his eyes and sees that this child has slits in his eyes, and it reminds him of the Nine Tails. But he puts that in the back of his head because he thinks it's just a coincidence, like a birth defect. This child has slits in his eyes. But little does he know the truth. And if this works properly, I did put an image of how Naruto looks during the editing. Hopefully it worked. If it didn't, I'm just going to show you it later by just screen recording it. But anyways, Naruto gets adopted short temporarily. I can't speak properly. I'm sorry if you guys get mad at me for that. But right now, Minato's taking care of Naruto. And yeah, time skip. Sorry for my voice crack. Time skip 3 weeks later. Naruto has been fed properly, and actually is smarter than an average a month-year-old child. He's able to crawl, able to show what he wants by pointing at things, and that's extremely smart for a 1-year-old. So Minato and Kushina, I actually think this child is a prodigy. So yeah, but also 1 month later, Kushina's child is born. Kushina's child is a young girl with red hair and is a girl with red hair and blue eyes like Minato and Kushina. And she has the obvious massive chakra pool right off birth, but also um she I don't know, I'm sorry. Nothing special else but that, right? And Obito doesn't attack here because he does know that there was no one that the Nine Tails was sealed in. So this Konoha attack doesn't happen twice, because there will be no tail beast to fight, right? But only Obito and Black Zetsu and Pain and Konan know about the sorry for not being able to pronounce disappearance of the Nine Tails. And they're just waiting until the Nine Tails gets reformed from chakra and revived, basically, because that's what they think is gonna happen. But little do they know, it's a child, basically, at this form. And yeah, if I edit this properly, there's an image of how she looks. Just imagine a younger version of this girl. So yeah, uh, and what happens next is actually that. Sorry, what happens next is actually that we're gonna time skip 3 years. Naruto is older than the girl. I'm gonna name her Mito. In respect of they decide to name her Mito out of respect of the first Hokage's daughter and the first Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, right? And Naruto has been adopted by Kushina and Minato, and also Kushina and Minato, seeing that their children, Kushina does see Naruto as a child, also does Minato as a child. So Kushina and Minato, seeing their children sort of as prodigies, because Naruto is a prodigy because he is the reincarnation of Kurama, extremely smart, extremely has extreme amounts of chakra just at a young age. So they decide to start training them at such a young age of 3 years old, and at this point they can already walk and talk, both of them. And Naruto can do small amounts of chakra, like flare his chakra out at low amounts, and it's not on purpose. He just does it by accident. He doesn't know how to control it. So Minato starts training them both with chakra control at such a young age, and also just small taijutsu and small training at the age of 3. And also, he does make Naruto use a chakra paper. After a couple months of training him with chakra control, he's only training his daughter with like small workouts because she hasn't awakened her chakra yet. But when he does, he's gonna start making her train on chakra control because it's very difficult. He knows that Uzumaki's have a lot of chakra, and it will be very difficult for her to use to control her chakra. So he does know whenever she awakens her chakra, she would need to have to be trained, right? And if you're wondering how Naruto looks, he looks. I already showed you a photo. I'm sorry. He looks like Naruto with a slit. I'll just put the photo back on if I edit this properly. But anyways, after this, and after a month of him training with chakra control, Minato makes Naruto put chakra in a chakra paper, and he's not very sure if it's gonna work because Naruto is extremely young still, right? But he's shocked to see that Naruto has two chakra natures, and he can actually help him with both of them, right? He can help him with Kushina can help Naruto with the first chakra nature. It is actually gonna be wind, and Minato and Kushina being good friends with Mito and Fugaku, they can help him with his second nature, fire. But let's time skip to the age of 4. Naruto and Mito start the academy. Naruto is upon by the village. Some of them do not respect him fully. Not all of them, not as much as in canon, but they do stay away from him. They do tell their kids to stay away from him because they are sort of freaked out that this child has slits in his eyes. They don't believe he's the Knight of Jinchuriki or anything like that, but they are still sort of freaked out about it because he has slit in his eye and they never seen someone like that. So yes, some children do call him demon, and it gets extremely much worse when they get into the academy. Sasuke is still the normal happy kid because the Uchiha massacre is actually not going to happen in this timeline. Minato actually got rid of Danzo and his rude Anbu and took the seals off of his rude Anbu and made them work together with the normal Anbu. So Danzo is actually just dead in this timeline, fixing a lot of problems. And Minato has actually reached out to Tsunade to come back to the village, but Tsunade has not responded to it yet. But she knows if she ever wants to, she can go back to the village and help the new generation of ninja and Konoichi become healing. Because he did say in the letter that he sent her that it'll be for her to influence, to ingrid the ninja, the new generation of ninja with uh healing nin. I'm sorry if I'm not saying words correctly. I'm just stuttering a lot, and it's just a little, you know, a little. I'm a little nervous because this is the first video I'm recording here on this channel. But anyways, when they get to the academy, Mito and Naruto are pretty much best friends. Also, Sasuke, Naruto, and Mito are also good friends, cause Naruto has been trained by Fugaku and Mito. I mean, Mik. I can't say her name. What's her name? Mikoto. Sorry, for some reason, whenever I say Mito and Mikoto, I kind of mix them up sometimes. If I said Mito before when I said about the fire, Naruto being able to learn fire from, you know, the Uchihas, I meant Mikoto. If I said Mito, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Mikoto, Sasuke's mother, and Fugaku, yeah, Sasuke's father. Naruto ended up, Naruto and what's her name, Mito, ended up actually meeting Sasuke from that. And also, they do sort of see Itachi as a sort of not big brother, but like I don't know how to say it. I guess big brother figure, yes, I suppose as well, because Itachi does help them all train with Shuriken Jutsu and also uh, Kunai. Because Itachi is very good with stuff like that because he's an Uchiha. And he's one of the best, actually. As in the episode that it shows Itachi throwing the, I believe it was Kunai, and it ricocheting off each other to hit the bullseye in the trees, I believe it was. I don't really remember that scene very well, but I just remember him making the kunai ricochet off each other. But sorry, I have to pause the recording for a second. But what happens next is actually that when they get to the academy, Naruto and Sasuke and Mito are actually all treated very differently. Mito and Sasuke are treated the same as in canon. As for Sasuke, Sasuke does still have all the fangirls, and Mito has a lot of fanboys, right? They all like her, right? But Naruto is very different. Naruto, he's looked down on, even though he's the top of his class. Yes, he's the best on his class, and the only reason why they look down on him is because his eyes are slitted, and they are all sort of scared of him. Not all of them, like Kiba. No, not Kiba. I mean, Shikamaru and Choji are not scared of him, right? Sasuke and Mito are not scared of him. So yeah, and also like Aruka is not scared of him because Aruka is their teacher. Who else? I guess that Shino is not scared either, you know. But Sakura and Ino sort of distancing away from Naruto because of that. But nothing too much. They're not downright evil, but some of the down, you know what I mean. But some of the students are sort of treat him badly. They try to make him fail in any opportunity they can, and they bully him a little bit until one day Naruto just sort of snaps. Not entirely, but he just one of the students. Let's name him uh, Mike. Why not Mike? He is a year older than everyone. No, he's actually 3 years older than everyone, right? And he decides that he doesn't like Naruto, right? The reason why is because Naruto is how he is, right? Naruto, for some reason, is treated kindly by the Hokage, right? And what he thinks is a demon, right? Because of his eye defect, right? Or his birth defect. That's what people think it is. But it isn't, really. But what happens is actually that one day when everyone is leaving, Sasuke and Mito and Naruto are going to their house, are walking together to their house, right? And Mike goes in the middle of them and starts punching Naruto. Naruto is extremely powerful, right? But he's still the kind Naruto like in canon. The reason why this is because Kurama in this timeline actually was kind of like Naruto as a young tail beast, right? He was joyful, but he learned how to hide his true feelings or his true personality because of the way that the villagers, I mean not the villagers, but I mean the humans and the ninja treated him. So he sort of lost his joyful side and became the dark sort of Kurama, the dark emo, mad all the time Kurama that people know in the canon story. But yeah, Naruto snaps, and the child that was beating on Naruto and was about to stab Naruto with a kunai. Flashback 5 minutes before this. Mito and Sasuke are running as fast as they can because they know they can't defeat a kid that is 3 years older than them, because they still do not know any jutsus. Naruto does know basic small jutsus like the fireball, but it's extremely small. And like the wind bullets, but it's also extremely weak and it's not very powerful. It can do enough damage to like bruise you, but that's basically it. But they go and run to the Hokage's office, and before anyone can say anything, they run through the door and starts telling Minato that some kid that's 3 years older than them started to bully Naruto and is beating on him. And Minato says to ask where Naruto is, and grabbing both of them, they say that it's outside of let's say random address, right? Like this far away. I guess like 5 minutes away. And they say that and in the blink of an eye, Minato just find Raijins there because let's say that Minato does put seals on like every not every block, but like the school of on the academy, his house, the Hokage's office, the training grounds, right? And it wasn't that far away from the school, so yeah. So he just flying right to the school, and let's just say the what everything is happening is right outside the school. The reason why no one's stopping it is because either they didn't want to get involved, or the ninjas that could have stopped it are actually not there. Ruka wasn't there. Yes, Ruka wasn't there, so he couldn't help. If he was, he would have helped, but he's not here at this moment. So yeah. And Minato gets at the point to see that Naruto's eyes turn red. The blue part of his eyes turn red. Just imagine when Naruto is influenced by the chakra by Kurama's chakra, and his once blue eyes with his slit become red, and his slit is still there, right? Minato is shocked to see this, and Naruto's hair, his he does have whiskers by the way, is very uh animal like, it's sort of, I don't know how to explain it. Just imagine when Naruto's influenced by Kurama. He looks sort of uh, evilish, right? And Minato, knowing how Kurama's chakra influences people, because he did marry the former Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, Kushina, is shocked to see this because he did remember once flashback 10 years prior. No, wait, not 10 years. 15 years prior to this, right? When Minato's and Kushina's relationship first started, once Minato got Kushina mad, and Kushina was influenced by Kurama's chakra, and her eyes turned red. She got a slit in her eyes, and her hair started to defy gravity. And also, she just started getting more animal-like, I suppose, and wild. And she beat the hell out of Minato. And Minato seeing this, without even thinking, he immediately flying body flickers over there, grabs Naruto, and Naruto in his rampage stage is fighting back from Minato and is actually sort of hurting Minato, scratching at him, biting him. And Minato is shocked to see this, and finally he recognizes the chakra that he's been feeling this whole time, and he can recognizes that it's the Ninetales chakra. Yes, but after a minute or two, the child runs off, seeing that the demon is truly a demon, right? That's what he thinks. So he runs off in being scared, right? And starts telling everyone about what just happened. So yeah, but Minato doesn't know why is Naruto. How does Naruto have this chakra? Because he's a genetic of the Nine Tails, but he can also sense that this child doesn't have his own chakra. It's basically only Kurama's chakra, right? If you're wondering when if a Hyuga could see Naruto's chakra whenever he flares it, they could, but let's just say for that no Hyuga has actually ever been near Naruto enough that they had to activate their Byakugan. So they actually never just seen Naruto chakra pool before. Because if they did, they will see that it's red, right? And Naruto's chakra never flared enough, strong enough to be seen by someone that is not a Hyuga. Yeah, he can sense it. He could sense it before, but he can never see it. But when Naruto went rampage, he can actually see the chakra radiating off of him. Right? He could see that it was red, and he could see that he could sense that his child's chakra didn't have another chakra source. It was only one chakra source, and it was only the Naruto's chakra that he sensed Naruto's whole life. So this is what I'm believing this off. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys all subscribe to this channel, the Asher Clan. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed. Go check out my channel. It's in the description down below. And see you guys next time.